Good evening and welcome back to the Shadow Nook. This evening we are travelling to one of Scotland's most haunted castles. Deep in the countryside of Angus, surrounded by ancient woodland and mist-covered grounds, stands one of Scotland's most beautiful and most haunted castles. Glamis Castle looks like something from a fairy tale. With towering turrets, ornate stonework, and vast gardens, it has been the ancestral home of the Bowes-Lyon family for centuries. But behind the elegance lies a much darker reputation. Glamis Castle is widely considered one of the most haunted places in Scotland. Visitors and staff have reported ghostly figures wandering the halls, rooms that are permanently sealed shut, a mysterious monster hidden within the castle walls, and spirits who have supposedly lingered here for hundreds of years. Even members of the royal family have connections to this castle. It was the childhood home of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, and the birthplace of Princess Margaret. But the long history of Glamis stretches far beyond royal connections. And with such a long history come centuries of stories. Stories of tragedy, betrayal and restless spirits. So let's look at the origins and early history of Glamis Castle. The land where Glamis Castle stands has been associated with power and royalty for over 1,000 years. According to tradition, the site may have been linked to the Scottish King Malcolm II, who ruled in the early 11th century. Whether this story is true or not remains uncertain, but it adds to the castle's already eerie reputation. The castle itself began to take shape in the 14th century. In 1372, the land was granted to Sir John Lyon by Robert II. Sir John Lyon later married the king's daughter, bringing the estate firmly into noble hands. Over the centuries, the castle was expanded and remodelled, eventually becoming the grand structure we see today. Despite its beauty, Glamis Castle has long been surrounded by dark rumours, and some of those rumours centre around one particular room. So let's talk about the monster of Glamis. One of the most disturbing legends connected to Glamis Castle is the story of the monster of Glamis. According to legend, a child was born into the Bowes-Lyon family who was unfortunately deformed. Some stories describe the child as having an enormous head, a misshapen body, and an appearance so frightening that the family decided to hide him away. Rather than allowing the child to live publicly, the story claims he was secretly imprisoned inside the castle. Hidden in a sealed room deep within the walls, supposedly only a few family members and trusted servants knew of his existence. The child was said to have lived his entire life confined within the castle, unseen by the outside world. Over time, rumours began spreading that certain windows in the castle were permanently bricked up to hide this secret room. Visitors noticed strange architectural inconsistencies, windows that appeared on the outside but not on the inside, rooms that should exist but somehow could not be found. And some claim that in the 19th century a group of guests tried to solve the mystery. They supposedly marked every window of the castle from the outside. Then they walked through the interior to see if each window corresponded with a room. According to the story, Several windows had no matching rooms at all, as if entire chambers had been hidden within the walls. The Bose-Lyon family has always denied the existence of the Monster of Glamis, but the mystery continues to fuel suspicion to this day. Now, perhaps the most well-known ghost of Glamis Castle is that of the Grey Lady. She is believed by many to be the spirit of Jeanette Douglas. Jeanette Douglas was accused of witchcraft in the 16th century. During the reign of James V of Scotland, accusations of witchcraft were often politically motivated. Jeanette Douglas was arrested in 1537 and accused of plotting to poison the king. Under torture, members of her household were forced to testify against her. Despite the lack of real evidence, she was found guilty. She was executed by burning at the stake of Castle Hill. Many believed her spirit returned to Glamis after her death. Witnesses claim to have seen a grey, misty figure gliding through the castle chapel. She is often described as appearing quiet or sad and completely silent. Some visitors say they feel an overwhelming sense of sorrow when entering the chapel, as if the room itself carries the memory of what happened to her. Next, we move on to the man who played cards with the devil. This is quite an interesting story. So it is another famous ghost of Glamis Castle, and he's known as Earl Beardy. His real identity is often linked to Alexander Lyon. The legend says he was a passionate gambler. One stormy night, he demanded someone play cards with him, but it was Sunday, and in those days gambling on the Sabbath was considered deeply sinful. When none of the servants or guests would join him, the Earl repeatedly shouted that he would play with the devil himself. According to the legend, someone knocked on the door. A mysterious stranger entered the room. The two men began to gamble. Hours had passed, but no one ever saw the stranger leave. Servants who tried to listen outside the room later claimed they heard strange noises, such as laughter and shouting, and the sound of cards being thrown across the table. Some say the game never ended. Even today, staff and visitors have reported hearing faint sounds of gambling coming from behind the sealed doors. The clinking of chips, the shuffle of cards, and voices arguing late into the night. Another ghost said to haunt the castle chapel is the White Lady. Unlike the Grey Lady, this spirit is usually described as glowing pale white. Witnesses claim she often appears sitting quietly in the chapel, as if attending an invisible service. Some believe she may be connected to an earlier member of the Lyon family. Others think she may be linked to a forgotten tragedy in the castle's long history. Her identity remains unknown, but sightings have been reported by both staff and visitors throughout the years. Over the years, many strange experiences have been reported at Glamis Castle. Visitors have described cold spots in certain corridors, footsteps echoing through empty rooms, doors opening and closing by themselves, and some staff members claim they have seen shadowy figures walking through hallways late at night. Others say they feel watched when passing certain parts of the castle. One particularly eerie report describes a servant who claimed to see a tongueless woman staring at her from a window. According to local folklore, the woman's tongue had supposedly been cut out as punishment long ago. Stories like these have helped Glamis Castle's reputation as one of Scotland's most haunted locations. So Glamis Castle is a place where history and legend seem to blend together. With centuries of royal connections, dark rumours and ghostly sightings, it's easy to understand why the castle has such powerful reputation. Whether the stories are true hauntings or simply folklore passed down through generations remains a mystery. But for those who visit the castle today, one thing is certain. Beneath its fairy tale beauty lies a long history filled with secrets and perhaps a few spirits that never truly left. Thank you for joining me this evening in the Shadow Nook. Before you leave, let's do your oracle card reading. We haven't done the Mystic Forest oracle cards for a while, so I will draw one of these for you. As usual, I will draw one card for you, and you can interpret it however you like. Okay. We have a deeper world. Don't push or force your way through life. Finding balance even in dark times will open your heart to the depth of compassion in everyday moments. Let me know down below what this could possibly mean to you. Thank you for joining me again this evening in the Shadow Nook. Don't forget to collect your subscription on your way out, and sleep well.